Sitting here with Brad Moules, loyal Musclecat Media fan. Originally, our contact was through the Outback Quarterback podcast, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and now you're sitting in the hallowed grounds.
Absolutely. It is as much of an honour as I could have achieved in my life, I reckon. This is cool.
You're being modest. We'll go through a few of your honours later on.
Yeah.
Look, mate, I've been wanting to talk to you for a while. You've got such an interesting background. Living what I guess, or previously living, what most men our age would say is their dream, and that is chasing the life of a professional golfer. And you were on the Australasian PGA Tour for a number of years, and I'm just so curious to understand what that life is like, and I think so many of our listeners will as well. I know that sometimes dreams becoming a reality aren't exactly what you pictured when you were younger, but I want your perspective on it. I mean, how did you start in the game of golf? Tell me about the childhood stuff first.
Yeah, I've been around golf a long time. So like my grandparents lived in Waikerie, like orange grounds, and they just lived up the road from the Waikerie Golf Club. So when I was born in 91, Mum did go to work. I'd stay with Granny, and she just popped me in the pram, and we'd walk the fairways while she'd go play golf, and she just popped me into next fairway. She'd go play a hole, meet me back, push me, and I didn't squeal or anything, obviously, and I was very welcome. So
what a life!
I started
what a start!
Very early. I was on the golf course.
When did you first swing a club?
We spent about 10 years in Toowoomba. So it wasn't long after that time when Mum and Dad moved to Toowoomba in Queensland for work, and we just was going once a week to the driving range in Toowoomba. So it would have been like Middle Ridge driving range, I think. And I'd just be swinging a golf club there once a week. It would have been 6-7 years old, I reckon.
When did you realise you had some talent? 6-7 years old. First time, nailed it.
Yeah, I was obviously had some ability, because I remember getting some with the grandparents. Into golf. My uncle was quite a good golfer, and a pop were into their golf. So I had like a pretty good set early. I wouldn't say good, but I had a set, before I was 10. So, early teens would be probably when I was getting real serious with it. But so when we moved back from Toowoomba to Victor Harbour, which is where my parents live now, basically living opposite the McCracken Golf Club. So
did they move? Have they moved to all these places to be near golf clubs? Because it sounds like you've just ended up near great golf clubs every time.
It's funny because I don't think so. I think it's just sort of fortuitously. That's back. I can remember Mum and Dad saying, block of land in McCracken was what, 30 grand, whatever it was back then. And now that's just not happening these days, obviously. But
pack your bags, Brad. We're moving to St Andrews.
Exactly. I'd ride the bike to school from McCracken to school, and then basically leave my clubs at the golf club and just ride to the golf club, spend the night there, pick up the range balls, put the carts away, and come home for dinner, and then just rinse and repeat. Go to school, go to the golf club, come home.
So this was an everyday thing. Golf was every day during your preteen, teen years. Wouldn't have known, to not be at a golf club, all the way through high school, even at that stage where I was taking days off middle of the week. I knew the principal. He was a member at the same golf club, and he's like, go play the Wednesday comp in the morning, and then sign you in, after your comp, and let me know how you go. So you got the big boy on your side.
Yeah, exactly. I was 4 days a week at school and passed. So, it's just been and again, the whole time I was at school, I was obviously pretty good at school. I was able to get things done, and which sort of allowed me to then enjoy myself when I was not at school. So my weekends would be travelling to Adelaide for the Varden, which is on a Sunday where you have each club would hold their own event, which is for juniors, men and women. They'd all have their own event, and you just play 36 holes in a day and then drive home.
Which you won the South Australian Varden in 2012, right?
I think I won it twice, I think. I should know, but I'm pretty sure I won it. Well,
don't be modest, mate. You tell me.
I know one time it was real tight with a good buddy of mine, Tom Bond. He's worked down at the range at West Beach, and he was leading with like the last couple of rounds to go in this because it's a whole season long thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he said to me like, you had to go shoot like 5 under or something to win, or to, that was the differential needed to be made up. And like I shot 6 or 7 under and then chased him down.
Dream day.
Yeah. So we've had good battles, Tom and myself, and a lot of other boys in Adelaide that are all good friends. But again, not all of us have, made to the heights of what we wanted to, but when we all get back together, it's always nice to reminisce of, back when we were amateurs and then even when we were pro, battling it out.
Are there some that are still, or that did make it to a sustained pro level and are still there? And how's that dynamic?
Yeah, so I suppose the hardest part about being in Adelaide is that when you do get to a level where, I guess, say you do win a Varden or you do win SA amateur or anything, you sort of feel like a bit of a big fish.
Yep.
And then you get sort of, when you get to the national level, you really like, okay, there's a bit of another level to climb. So you do, when you get big in Adelaide, it's like, I said that it's probably harder to do that now, where there's a lot more, the way Golf Australia set up, there's a lot more sort of funding getting into pushed into all the states now, where probably back when, I suppose, say 15, 20 years ago, it was pretty well pushed into the eastern states only, we sort of got the scraps. But like it's, it was good battles with the guys, and again, always you're just spending your own cash really to get where you want to go.
I will definitely get there, because that's one of the things I'm so curious about, the finances of a golfer trying to make it in Australia. But let's just go back to the teen years where you realised you had talent. You were playing golf every day. At what point did it go from, I just love playing golf and I want to do it as much as I can, to, I think I may have something here? And when was that shift, and how did that shift within you?
I think that's when you start getting picked for like representative golf. So you progress from, say, playing for your club.
Yep.
You play say pennant for your club. That's cool. You play that, and then all of a sudden you're starting to get named to go play. We're going to go send you over to Melbourne and play the Victorian Junior, and they have like a 2-man teams thing where they send their best 2 players, and they have like a interstate tournament within a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So you play those and you go, okay, so like I'm obviously in that level, I'm regarded in that level, and then when you start to place in those events, you go, okay, well maybe it's an avenue to chase. I think for me it was when you travelled overseas, interstate, and you were mixing up on the top of the ladder. You're going, okay, yep, no, this is definitely something to keep going with. And you obviously have good people around you. Like I had, when I was at McCracken, the club pro was Shane Robinson, who's at Glenelg now. He was a great mentor. He was a bit like me, a bit of a country guy, and played professionally as well on the Aussie circuit. And he then said, look, I've got a really good mate that works at Royal Adelaide. I think that'd be a great place for you to take your golf to your next level. Move to the city, and then take your golf to that level over there. And basically when I finished high school, basically packed my bags and moved to the city, and joined up at the golf club, and they welcomed me with open arms. And I couldn't be more thankful for the Royal Adelaide for taking me in, for one. Then I started working there as well. I was there for probably 6 years. So I basically finished high school and got a job at the golf club, and which wouldn't normally happen just with how it's set up there. It's because it's a privately owned club. They don't really have, if you're a member there, you can't really work there as well. It's that sort of setup.
Yep.
But I was very fortunate that they would allow that for me to progress my golfing ability and whatnot. So
they saw something in you. So you're 18 and you think, I can do this, I can become pro. And what happens next?
So there's a couple of different ways. So traditionally you'd be just pressing your butt off, getting ready for a qualifying event at the end of the year, which would be the what we call Q school.
Mm-hmm.
So
they have that in the States.
Yeah, so it's basically every tour in the world has their own level of a qualifying school. So I'm not sure if many guys know, like David Luderis. He was a very good golfer that played out of Kooyonga, he was like the last guy to get through Q School in the US before they changed the system to we had to progress through the web.com or the what's it called now? Yeah.
Whatever the tour is.
Whatever the second tier. I can't think of it top of my head.
Yep.
But so now you have to progress through all the tours now to get to the PGA Tour. They just made it so hard. You got to earn your way to the PGA Tour. Where
are you talking US or Australian?
This is US.
Yeah, so Corn Ferry is the second.
Corn Ferry. So I should know that. But so he went through like 3 stages of Q School to get to the US. So that's like you can't do that anymore, which is unheard of. Just sort of to put that perspective.
Yep. So he did it the hardest.
He did the hardest. Yeah, exactly. Like that's just you won't. Yeah.
So he's not a college athlute that's been thrust into the Corn Ferry, right. And he's climbed every level on the way to the PGA Tour.
So where so say we come back to Australia where they have so for guys that have no status anywhere, there is a first stage. So basically everyone that wants to turn pro, they just pay the money. So say it might be $1,000. You go down to Melbourne. And you play the first tournament and they say, all right, there's 30 spots. This is to get into the final stage. And then...
How many guys are entering that?
So there'd be thousands.
And is this still how it works?
Yep, so it works. Yes, I'll have places, in New Zealand. I think they've got a couple now in the US.
Yep.
Obviously in Australia. So they all have their sectionals and then they all come back to the final stage, which is, I think it's at Moules in Melbourne, where they play the final stage, and I think the top 40 guys of that final stage, so there might be 130, 140 guys in that final stage, and then the top 40, and then they get categorized from 1 to 40 in the what they call the exemption categories for the tour. So if you finish 40th, you're basically guaranteed like 5 starts for the year.
Okay, so it's a mini version of a card.
Essentially. Yep. And if you finish sort of from 41 down to like 60, 70, you basically get given a tournament membership so you can play pro-ams and things like that. So you can tour Australia, be a pro, but you still got to sort of pre-qualify your way into tournaments.
Similar to the US setup.
Exactly.
Where did you finish?
That's a great question. So I did it the other way. So I did an apprenticeship at North Adelaide. So I did a 3-year coaching degree at the North Adelaide Golf Club under my pro Cameron Howe at the time. And so I did that. You play minimal golf. You play like once a week against your local peers, and then you do your studies. Got to finish all them. Got to. I think they have. When I was doing it, you had to be at a 5 over average. So golf wasn't the hard part of that. It was the tuition was the hard part. So I passed all that, and I think I won the SA title 3 years in a row. And I won the
3. You told me it was 2 before. You're being modest.
This is the trainee series.
I see. Yeah.
So you won that every year, and then won the Southern Division. So it's like a combination of like SA, Victoria, I think, and Tassie. So you have like your own sectional. I won that in my second year, I think. Yeah, and unfortunately, I didn't get to win the national, but I'm going to finish top 5 a couple of times in that. So
and that qualifies you?
No, still. This
is the thing. Every sport you look at, right? Every sport you watch on TV, and it's so easy to criticize from the couch. And obviously, we do it from across the world with the NFL constantly. Right. But hey, we're safe in Musclegate Studios. It is, you just don't appreciate how many levels there are and how much, I mean, torment's too much of a strong word, but how difficult it is just to progress through those ranks, even to get a shot at having a shot.
Yeah.
Like this, there's already been 4 or 5 levels that you've spoken through. So what happens next?
So then so you finish you do your apprenticeship, and that's good. So you've ticked that off. I've now a qualified golf coach. So you're now a PGA member. You're a qualified golf coach, and that still doesn't even get you to play. It gets you to play pro-ams. That's fine. But obviously you want to get to the next level. So this was in my thinking that doing it this way was kind of like my fallback. I thought, well, if golf doesn't work, I can be a golf coach.
Is that a normal way that guys pursue it?
Yes and no. I would say like the guys that are just elite, like athletes, and they wouldn't even think about that because they'd be just
golf.
Yeah, I'm not wasting 3 years doing my studies to go. I mean, it's kind of like going to college in a way.
Sure.
But for me, in my mind, it was like, be a realist. I can sacrifice 3 years and I'll still be in my early 20s when I'm finished.
Mm-hmm.
So then I finished that. So then I did go to Q school. I went to Q school in China for the China. There's like the PGA Tour. It was like one of the first years like PGA Tour China, which didn't exist anymore. It was like,
wow,
so random. But that was like such a bizarre experience because basically when I was telling my boss, I'm going to stop working in the pro shop. I'm going to go be pro. And it was like almost like I don't know how he didn't see this coming, but he basically made me work all the way up until the flight out to China. So I didn't even get like a week off to sort of just get myself in the zone or anything. But flew off to China, battled away, didn't really have a good week. It was like, it was middle of winter in China this time of year as well, so that was just even better. But come back, dust myself off, and then I think I finished top 15 or something. I think in my first go. So I got my card.
Okay.
After all that, so that was awesome.
So that gets you a card to what tour?
Just the Aussie tour. So I come back, play the Aussie Q school.
Right.
So the good thing about where I finished at my traineeship, I was able to get into final stage because I was ranked quite high. I was able to get into final stage and managed to get my card first go. Cool. And then I think my first tournament might have been like.
So you're a pro now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So now what happens? So let's start from that point. All these years you wanted to be a pro on the Australasian PGA Tour.
Yep.
What does your year look like now?
Oh, it's still pretty barren. I mean, like, even though you've got your card, you sort of know that, all right, I'm not going to get Aussie Open. I'm not going to get Aussie PGA. These are like the top of the top in Australia.
Sure. It's like trying to qualify for the majors in the
Correct.
USPGA.
That's right.
Sure.
So you sort of go, well, I've got enough status to go play, say, like the Victorian Open, Victorian PGA, Queensland, New South Wales, and like SA doesn't even have one. Like, there's no golf in Adelaide, unfortunately.
Except for LIV.
For LIV and the Women's Australian Open, which I think was on this week, I believe.
Yep.
So at the top level, it's great, but for a local guy that wants to play as a pro, you don't play any golf at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only downside of being in Adelaide. But
makes it hard.
So you sort of lock in those sort of what are they worth? They were like maybe $200,000. These like the total price.
Total purse, yeah.
Total purse. So that's what you're dealing with. So you get, that's sort of what you work. Say, I think there was maybe 8 or 10 events, I think, for that level.
Okay, so 8 or 10 events, total purse is 200. A winner gets what?
Like 20 grand.
And what's the field?
Like full field, like 120, 130 guys.
So 100th gets what?
Nothing.
Where's the cutoff for prize money?
45th.
So you got to make the cut on the third day?
Second day.
Second day. Oh, three-day tournaments.
So 4-day tournaments. You get cut on the Friday.
Gotcha. Okay. So new on tour, you played how many events in your first year roughly?
Oh, well, after I won my sixth start, I won the New Guinea Open.
I was going to ask about the Papua New Guinea Open, 2016, right?
Yeah, that was my first year out.
Right, because I had come across that. I actually know a guy who played once in the Papua New Guinea Open.
Go.
He's an AFL umpire now.
Unreal.
Alex Wetton's his name.
Okay.
I'm not sure. You wouldn't know him, but he's the big dog on the golf course amongst us. There's another guy, Jonesy, who actually beat him on our...
Oh, wow.
We played in Bonneville a few years
Bonneville
ago.
Links,
Coffs, which was amazing. It's the greatest course I've ever played.
Yeah, it's very picturesque.
Oh, it's you drive through a forest, mate. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, people liken it to Augusta.
I can see why on TV, because you got the big gum trees and it doesn't feel Australian, it feels very foreign. My golf obviously did not justify me being there whatsoever, but it was good fun.
That's right, your experience all the same.
Anyway, so Jonesy was his first year on the umpiring list, and this was his first time with us, first camp away. We'd known him for about a week, and he rolls up and hits a 72 even par. He had 16 pars, a bogey, and a birdie.
What a boring round of golf.
It looked so boring too. We couldn't believe it. You're telling me this guy's the gun in this group and we've got big hitters?
That's right.
Yeah, it was a statement. It was a statement.
Absolutely.
And Wedo went 2 over, so he was pissed off. But still, those guys are good. Anyway, where were we? So it's first year on tour.
Yeah. So like 6 start out.
PNG.
Yeah, so like I made pretty sure I made like I should have done more research, but I'm pretty sure I made all my cuts early on. So I was making making cash along the way.
Okay.
Actually, before this, when I left the golf club, left working at Royal Adelaide, the membership come together and donated 20 grand to my cause.
Wow.
So as a bit of a thank you for being such a splendid young lad.
Yep.
And we wish you all the best. Here's some money.
But also you're going to need some cash because this is brutal.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And like obviously Royal Adelaide's got a good pedigree of knowing what good golf is.
Yeah.
So they've had pros in the past that have tried and done good, some that haven't progressed. So they've helped me out with some money. So at least you can get started and be comfortable. So you can plan your year, have much on flights and accommodation and cars and things. That way all right, my year's planned.
But you're all planning yourself. It's all
exactly.
Yeah,
There's
no
never
help.
at any point in my career I've had a manager. It's always been self-run.
So where are you staying? Are you staying at the worst, dingiest, cheapest places, or were you going, well, I'll spend $150 a night and at least not get stabbed?
I think the old school thought, like probably the generation before me, they were like in cars. They just like stay in their car, like it was
almost a badge of honor to be in the worst
exactly.
spot.
And like they would have complained, but they were playing for way much more money than what we were.
Really?
Yeah. Like it would have been, I would say the 80s and 90s would have been like the golden era of golf in Australia. Like when like Norman was around and everything.
Why the drop off?
I just think like I say the Tiger effect, like a lot of the focus went back to the US. And obviously with like say Foxtel, Ozstar around that time, beaming in like live golf, no one was watching Aussie golf anymore.
Right. So was the effect of that then, with all the focus on the US game, young kids with talent then started going to the US? Is that what happened to the Aussie talent, or did they stick around here and the game just didn't grow as much as it did there?
Yeah, it just didn't. Like say the tournaments were just dropping off. So like like the Aussie Masters for one, like that was a blue chip tournament in Australia where it just doesn't exist. Like guys would come across from all over the world to come play the Aussie Masters at Huntingdale. But now then it just doesn't get up and falls away. So like the only there's only 2 events now in Australia that are like that sort of worthy, which is the Aussie Open, the Aussie PGA, because they're European tour events.
Yeah, right. Okay. So you win the PNG Open.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big day. What do you win prize money wise?
What did I pick up for that? I would say it was 20 grand.
Okay, so that's enough to keep you going.
Yeah,
I mean,
like that's you get that in a week. It lobs in your account. You go, I've never seen that many zeros before.
Yeah.
And then because I was with, like say, Titleist sponsored me head to toe, like golf club and everything. So with good work, good play, they give you a little bonus. So like I've got $5,000 US bonus for the winning. So go, I can get used to this. So then I was like, all right, cool. Now that I've secured like a good status in Australia now for the next 3 years, because you get winner status now. Like
so you're on tour.
You're basically like you can pick whatever event you want, which would be everything, obviously.
Great.
Because I want to play golf.
Yep.
So now you can go, I'm now going to look overseas. So you get that taste of winning. Okay, you feel good. So my eyes were set on Canada.
Why Canada?
Because of the way the US had restructured their Q schools, you had to go through like Canada, which is the third tier of the US tour. So they own it.
Oh, so it goes
Canada, Web.com, Corn Ferry, and then
PGA.
the PGA Tour.
And that's still the structure?
So they have Canada and like Latino America. Yeah, they've got a couple of those like satellite tours, which you can play your way up and get up to the US tour that way.
So did your PNG win give you enough international points or ability to enter tournaments over there, or you could have gone at any time? It's just now that you've got the cash, you can
More
go.
the cash, yeah.
Gotcha.
Because the entry would be like $2-3 grand US just to enter. That's not even getting on a plane and going there. It's just to go, all right, I want to play this qualifying tournament.
So you need to place pretty high to make your money back.
Oh yeah,
for that trip.
Yeah.
What, top quarter of the field?
For qualifying or just?
Yeah, well, so you're trying to qualify in Canada. Is that what you're doing, or you're playing individual tournaments over there?
So yeah, just to go and qualify. So this was like,
Okay.
so the qualifying was in the January. I think it was the January of the following year. It's 2017. So I was like, all right, well, say it was like May. I'm gonna won that. I think it was like somewhere on my birthday actually.
Yep.
I won the New Guinea Open.
That's a good month.
It's a great month. Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. I can sort of pencil in that as a goal for the end of the year. All right, that's what I'm gonna, obviously, pending anything else happening. Say if I won the Aussie Open, well, that just wouldn't even be in your mind. You'd be going to Europe. So yeah, I penciled that in as my new year. All right, I'm gonna try and qualify to go to Canada, and then work your way through that system. You play the rest of the season out in Australia, which it comes and goes. So you sort of almost follow the sun. So you come back from New Guinea, you go straight to Perth, which at that time, my now wife, she was doing her studies in Fremantle. So I was sort of living out of a suitcase, a little bit in Adelaide, a little bit in Perth. So being Perth, my second home, was great. So you'd spend 2 weeks in Perth playing the major tournaments there, so like WA Open, WA PGA, and then there'd be like a real cool like Pro-Am swing, which you'd start down at like Margs River, play all through there, and then go all the way up to Broome. It's basically like 3 weeks. And there's like lots of golf, lots of different golf. Like you play like a bit of links golf, a bit of like sort of tree line golf, and then you work your way up, playing scrapes.
Yeah. Wow. Is that up in Broome?
Up in Port Hedland and Karratha, they like scrapes greens. And then Broome was like it was like the big finale, where it was like a lot of sort of like, because of a lot of the East guys would come over, but they wouldn't stay the whole way because it just get more and more expensive going further north you go.
Sure.
Broome being a tourist spot in June, July, it's a pretty pricey place to be for a couple of weeks. But like the guys that all stay together, we all like camper vans and stuff. We just road trip it and only stay in hotels a couple of nights a week, but you just go out and camp, just have like a good time fishing, and that's probably the stuff you do miss that now I'm not playing anymore, is like spending time with friends, doing that sort of stuff in between tournaments. You just basically follow the sun, then you go across from Perth, so you finish Broome, come home for probably a month, and then you'd be getting geared up for the Aussie summer. You start playing like up in Brisbane and work your way down to like the Melbourne for between sort of Melbourne and Sydney was like the Aussie Open, and the Aussie PGA was like the one which is for Christmas, and that was usually the one where you really gear up for, because that's like European Tour ticket. And unfortunately, I never really put it together that week. For all the years I played, just for whatever reason, Royal Pines at Gold Coast just didn't agree with me.
I lived at the Royal Pines Resort for a number of weeks during the 2020
bubble.
AFL season in the bubble, and I hate that place because those rooms were so small.
Oh yeah,
we got fed wraps for about 2 weeks straight, and then when we moved back to Peppers, that was much better on Broadbeach. But yeah, tell us about the week at Royal Pines. What happened?
Just over the course of a week, you just not dealing with the no daylight saving time either. So you get an early tea time, and it's like 6 o'clock is your tea time. I complain. I mean, like I'm not much of an early guy. I'd say I was never been an early riser. I've always loved to sleep in, but when you get the start at 6 o'clock, it's a bit of a rude awakening. But I don't know. Just Queensland golf. Queensland golf didn't agree with me. Like I'm used to no grain in the greens and things like that. But I don't know. Just that week never really agreed with me.
So that didn't go how you wanted it to. And then, so you don't play, I mean, when did you leave the tour, and how did you get to the point where you exited?
It was sort of a progression of a bit of not being fed up, but just, I was trying a lot of things to try and change it up, to try and stay fresh. I wasn't getting the results I was wanting. Change coach. So this is all coming up to sort of pre-COVID time.
So you had 3 years on tour?
What did I do? Yeah, 3 or 4 years, I reckon. So we went lockdown like 2021, was it?
2020.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, that was Victoria anyway. I don't know about SA. SA was pretty loose.
Well, I mean, mate, I went to it was for a wedding, my brother's wedding in Broome, and they had like one case in Perth Airport, and we were in the like Roebuck Bay in Broome, like on a cruise, oblivious to everything.
Don't tell me they shut you down.
And we come back in from our well sightseeing adventure, and our phone's blowing up. It's like, oh yeah, you're going to be placed into lockdown
Because there was one case in the entirety of
Perth,
Western Australia.
Correct. Yeah, and because we were in Perth,
McGowan was running his own country at that point. That was
and the Perth people were loving it.
They
were all about it.
They were the renegades because they could be free as long as they had zero. Yeah, I remember. So we travelled around the country for umpiring that year, obviously, and Perth was by far the tightest lockdown.
Oh yeah,
by far. Like there was the technicians for our mics and things would not even come within 10 meters of us. They would have gloves on and masks and basically hazmat suits and put our vests on the table and say, "You do it." And then and then I remember coming back to Adelaide and the whole street had been shut down just for our arrival to the Ibis Hotel, which is where we were staying at the time.
Fun.
Yeah, that passage from Perth to Adelaide or Perth to Melbourne was the tightest. Yeah. I think it might have been the tightest bubble in the world.
Oh, yeah. And what a time to be alive during that time. Like that's a story for our kids.
It is. And look, we had it great compared to everybody else. We get to umpire footy and live on the Gold Coast, which let's
be honest, I mean, like if AFL wasn't on, what are people doing?
Yeah, that's nights, right. You know? Do you remember it was on every night of the week?
Oh, it was.
They had it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and which was genius, really, because it kept people going. So it was cool. But anyway, so COVID times is where you started to wane what in your desire, or was it form you couldn't get back? Were you constantly trying to claw back the heights of winning?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure if it was, when you have that security, you can start to then dive deeper into some technical things. You can because you've got more job security, so you can go, well, rather than just sort of do what you're doing, you sort of go, well, all right, well I can dive into some more technical things would take longer. Obviously, you're doing it to improve. I know I may have just gone in a wrong track at that time and never really improved the way I thought I would. And then I had like sort of fleeting success. You'd win pro-ams and things, but just obviously when you're playing on tour, you want to win tour events. I was the sort of guy that would just play good enough till Saturday, and then Sunday you just shoot even par and just fall backwards. That was just through my life. And
that started to get in your head?
I think so, yeah. You just, you get into an age where you want to, I was very fortunate with sort of my wife's family. Were very supportive of obviously what I was wanting to do and everything. So they were, be able to house me and, obviously chip in for things here and there. And, the trips to the Gold Coast, they'd all come along. We'd all have a big group together. My parents would come along, and so it was obviously good memories that we all were together. Yeah. Just unfortunately, I couldn't back it up with a good result. But
you can tell me to get lost if I'm asking too much about your personal finances at the time. But I'm just so curious about the reality of how to make a life when you're chasing the pro dream in Australia. Like you weren't earning a full-time salary at any
I'd hate to think what my hourly rate was. It would be horrendous.
What would you have earned in your best year and your worst year fully on tour? If you don't mind sharing.
Probably 50, 60 grand.
Best year?
As a best year.
Yep. Worst year?
15.
So the variable is massive. And even in your best year when you're trying to make it, you're not supporting a family on the golf.
Yeah. And tour. I mean, like the funny thing was, there's a bit of a joke amongst the guys was, everyone would be doing the same thing, chasing the same dream.
Yeah.
But like you had to play well for 1 week of the year. You know what I mean? So like you'd have a whole season. So there was guys that would be consistently like say top 15, top 10, that should be ranked high on the exemption rankings. And you get one bloke that would come along and miscut, like have like 10 miscuts, and then play well their career week, Aussie Open, and then finish fifth or something, and then they're like off to Europe because they're
bastards.
Their money earnings was enough to get an exemption to play European Tour event, for instance. Like,
so you just need to get that one tournament right.
Yeah,
the big one. You can
and then
almost fluke it, and
that creates how much pressure does that create for your mind mentally. Like you could have a whole good season, play really well all year, and just not have it click for that 1 or 2 weeks, and you go, well, had a good year, but I really feel like I didn't get what I was earned. You know, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bit bitter.
No, mate, it's interesting hearing you say it. Like, I've alluded to umpiring a couple of times in this, and obviously very different crafts. And for those who listening that don't exactly know my background, I still umpire in the AFL. It's my 12th year. But mentally, it seems very similar to me in that you can be very good for a long time, and then things can go wrong. And when things do go wrong, they can get on top of you. You know, I've had seasons in the past where I've probably had my best years, and then in the first week of finals, I've had almost my worst game of the year, and you almost feel it unspooling as it's going, and things that you normally wouldn't get wrong.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
the microscope's on you.
Exactly. And you start thinking about the opportunity that you might be losing in the moment. And once that thought enters your mind, you're gone. And it takes experience and I guess a lot of trial and error to sometimes get it right for a sustained enough period that you get to where you want to get. And I haven't quite got there yet. I haven't done a grand final. I've come close, but I'm still learning how to get all the way there. And I've always thought that golf in particular is similar mentally to umpiring. And when I guess my question to you is, when you're clicking, what do you feel when you're having the best round of your life out there?
The best way I can explain it, it's just like you call it flow state essentially. It's where you don't even actively think what you're doing. You can just sort of imagine it, you feel it, and you just hit it, and it's like, oh, well, that's the window I was looking to hit the golf ball, and it's gone through there, and it's falling on near the hole, and it's roughly where I want it, and you hold the putt, and you go, oh, gee, how easy is golf?
It's simple, yeah.
And then when you're battling, you obviously think about it after the fact. You go, well, I was toiling so hard over every shot, and you finish a round, you feel mentally fried. You go, well, of course, of course you're not going to play your best golf when you're mentally just hammering yourself over every shot. I mean, the best players on tour are just the guys that just make the least amount of mistakes, really. I mean, and then, you know, unfortunately with how TV is, you're always seeing the best players play every week because, let's be honest, everyone wants to see who's leading.
Sure.
So, I mean, they're always going to be holding all their putts because they're probably in flow state. And they're probably feeling it. And, you know, you don't see the guy that's running around 50th, you know, he's got a 10-footer for par and probably needs to make it to keep his card for next year, but, you know, lips out again. But like that's just reality of golf. It's everyone's at a different stage of where they're at in their flow state, and I probably hit mine very early. And I thought, well, okay, I can do this. I probably still could if I, put my mind to it and hit the gym for a good 12 months and put a good 12 months of work. I could probably find it again. Who knows? But
now that sounds like a hell of a YouTube series for Muscle Cat Media.
Yeah.
It's funny you mention that it's about minimizing errors because, when you're in a bad place with umpiring, that's what you think about. I can't make errors. And the more errors I make, the worse it is.
Compounds.
But then when it's going well, it just flows, right? Yeah. It's instinctive. It's going well. And I assume that's every elite sport,
Absolutely.
Right? Every sportsman or woman who's at the top of their game just doesn't. I wouldn't say they would have to think about it. They would just go. It's like I was thinking the other day. We were in Melbourne for the Grand Prix, and Jim was filming me. We were doing a couple of filler shots for a video we're making, and I was just walking down the street, and I knew that he was filming me, but behind me. And as soon as you're aware that your walk is on camera, you start thinking about, am I walking normally? And as soon as that thought enters your mind, you go, wait, I don't think I do this. Does this look normal?
Do I lift my knees or lift my feet?
Exactly. Yeah. When you're conscious of it, all of a sudden, even walking feels like the most clunky thing ever, let alone a golf swing, right? Yeah, it's extraordinary how quickly it can, just little things can get into your brain.
But yeah, even like say playing in front of a crowd, like that's a new experience when you say when you play, like say when I was playing my first Australian Open or anything like that, on the first tee and they call your name, and I used to love the tingle, like just when it was your turn to hit, you'd obviously go through your routine and everything, and just I'm not sure what it was, but I just you could feel the heart rate rise, so you go, breathe. But yeah, I used to always get this like weird sort of tingle first round, man. And for whatever reason, I just always crush the first drive of a tournament. Like I couldn't think of a golf tournament where I didn't didn't nail my first shot of the day.
Really? Well, that's something inbuilt that not a lot of people would have, right? The majority of the population, and I assume a lot of golfers, would crumble under that. So that's a big strength.
Yeah. I used to think about it all the time. Just I remember, especially one drive. Say it was like at the lakes in Sydney, where you got this. I think it's the 10th hole. There's just water for like basically whole left side.
Yep.
It's like the hole goes sort of dollies right to left. So you got sand dunes right, water left. And you got this like funnel to hit it into.
Perilous.
And I'm not a drawer of the ball. I used to comically always be known as a fader. So you're fading it from the water, trying to hit it in the fairway. If you overdo it, you're in the just this pure like little fade, middle of fairway, and you just go, oh yeah, easy as this.
What were you a big hitter? Is that your strength?
Oh, nah.
What was your A game? Like what was your
I'd probably say
fallback?
like the driver was the go-to because I had a repeatable swing, and I felt like that was probably my trusty club in the bag. The driver I was notoriously known to be pretty straight.
Mm-hmm.
And then over the years I just got, trying to chase more and more distance. I think things got a bit out of control to one point when so if I fast forward go back to 2017 where I did qualify to go to Canada. So I played half a season over there. I couldn't hit driver. You're playing these narrow fairways with like pines. And I'm like standing with, I got paired up with Jamie Sedlowski. So guys, going back when sort of the long drive was the new thing on the going around. He was like the guy. He was the guy that was bombing it everywhere.
Well, pre-Bryson.
Yeah. This guy was massive. Like he was like stick thin too. So it was like string bean, massive flexibility, and just bombed it. He's there. Obviously, no other club in the bag but driver. I'm there with like my 3-wood or my 2-iron, just like trying to poke it down the fairway, just because I didn't want to hit driver.
Yeah. Was that just a confidence thing?
Yeah. I think about it now, and it's a lonely life. Playing on tour, like it doesn't matter where you are in the world, even in Australia, it's still by yourself because you're stuck with your own thoughts. Obviously, you might have your caddy in your bag, but for the most part, when you're playing, it's just you and the golf course. So and when you're other side of the world, don't know a soul, and you got time zone difference, so you can't even talk to someone about it until they wake up.
And you're in your head about your performance and stressed about tomorrow. Yeah.
Then you say you go out for dinner one night and you've managed to leave your wallet in the taxi.
Oh no!
So you got no money.
Oh no!
So that was fun.
So then you have to convince them that you're not a thief. Yeah. You legitimately lost your wallet.
That was fun.
And they don't believe you that you're a pro golfer.
Oh, exactly. You got what records you got? Got no residence, obviously. So yeah.
Wowzers. Okay, so there are some dark moments. Tell me, this is the question I think I've wanted to ask the most. Do you still love golf?
It has it'll always have a place in my heart and in my life. Given that my wife and we met at North Adelaide, and given that my son, 2-year-old son, he's picked it up, and like I've sort of been standing off. I don't want to like push him into it or anything, but he's picked it up and has just got hand-eye. So like, well, I think I've got it.
Well, you know where this ends.
I've got it in my life going forward. So, but yeah, we still play very sporadically. And when you do play, you go, oh yeah, like you hit enough good golf shots to go, well, I'm not, I haven't lost it, but it'd probably take me a bit to dive into it as heavily as I did when I was younger, just given how life is now.
Yeah, well, fatherhood. Yeah, it's. I mean, you couldn't imagine being a father on the tour, trying to chase what you're doing, right?
Man. Yeah, that's I don't know, especially how I'm now experiencing being a father. Like if you're being away so often, I mean, given technology now would make it a lot easier, but I feel like I'd be a very different father if I was away than what I am currently, which wouldn't have been a good thing. Like I feel like I'm happy with how I'm doing it currently, doing the 9 to 5.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge benefit to that, right? Being home for dinner every night.
Exactly.
It's I mean, it's professional sport is brutal like that. That's one thing that a lot of people, I guess, don't see from the outside. And again, even umpiring, you travel a lot, 18, 20 times a year. It's only one night at a time, but they add up. It is a pretty exhausting trip after
weekend.
a while.
That's your weekend gone, really.
And then muscle cat during the week, mate. It's busy. It's building an empire.
That's right.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I could ask you questions for 2 hours, but I'll let you go soon. LIV Golf.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on LIV?
It's a great concept. Obviously, the negative publicities for the Saudi money, like,
sure,
you take that away, the product is, and you see it at Adelaide, how good it is. Like, you get the access to the golfers, you get the good vibes on the golf course because it's pretty relaxed, and you get to watch a, Fisher afterwards or whoever afterwards. Like, it's compact. You go there for 5 hours, watch, you plonk yourself on the whatever hole, and you got golf all day. And you can do something in the morning. You go play 9 holes.
At 11.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you got your whole morning to yourself. Whereas traditional golf tournament, because you got the morning field, afternoon field. If you're a diehard, you'll go there for the first. There'll be, because there's marquee players in the morning, marquee players in the afternoon. So that's generally how it works. You'll be there all day and you're fried.
Literally.
Yeah.
Sun is brutal.
I mean, like, I'm sure people have watched the Phoenix, which is the waste management.
Yes.
Where you got people just charging for that, party hole, and like they're there at like 3 a.m, getting in line just to be there.
Well, I went to LIV this year. I had a very different experience this time than the first time I went, which was 5 years ago, the first tournament.
I reckon,
we went on the Friday both times, I think. There's a much bigger crowd now. Much bigger. I feel like it's even maybe doubled.
Yep.
And just general admission, maybe my mistake was getting greedy and trying to watch Bryson and see a few of the big boys, John Rahm, and then Anthony Kim, who ended up winning it, which was random. But
what a story.
Speaking about needing to win one tournament, there you go, have one good week.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what a recovery story that is. That was so cool to see. So I felt like we could hardly get a good spot. And again, probably my error in chasing the big boys, whereas maybe we didn't do that last time, but it was a lot busier, a lot busier. So was the Formula One. We went there on the weekend.
That's
and that
exploded
was
too.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And I put a video up on TikTok showing our view for 10 seconds, saying, is this normal? And 120,000 people have seen it. And it's a 50-50 split between people saying, oh yeah, it sucks, I'm never going back. Or if I go back, I have to buy a grandstand because you can't see. That's one half. The other half was, oh, you didn't get there early enough. You got to get there 8 hours before. It's like, well, if you have to get there
that's right, and
run as soon as gates open, then it's not really a well-managed event for general admission, is it? Let's can general admission. So LIV, I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
I think it's been incredible for Adelaide, but what are your thoughts on the North Adelaide redevelopment? And are they going to keep that public, that course?
I dare say that it'd have to. Like, if it's government that are probably doing the most of the work.
Yeah.
It'd be, again, so good for the state. Let's be honest. I mean,
it's a party state now, isn't it?
Well,
got it all.
Yeah, the government's done something right, I suppose. It's. I mean, if you take the course in its current state, you got like the north course, the south course, and then like a little par 3 course on the side.
Yep.
There's enough land there to make run like primo golf club in the city, which you just don't get. I mean, obviously there's drawbacks to how you go about that.
It's very unique though.
Yeah. I'd be all for it. I mean, I'm probably a little bit biased being an ex-golfer. And again, you take away the reasoning behind it. Like, if they just did off a whim, it wouldn't be such an issue. I think the politics behind it probably gets a bad rap. But if you do a good enough job, like you get a good designer in there, you route it accordingly, and people will come.
Oh yeah,
we know, we've proven in the last few years that you build it, they come. So why not bring another reason to bring people to our awesome city.
Yeah, and you look at now we've got MotoGP.
Yeah.
Gather Round has been an enormous success, and then LIV Golf has been incredible. But to put that in the heart of the city is amazing in itself. The North Course, I'm sad to see it go. That's where I've played the best round of my life, which is paltry compared to most. But it was the only time I've had a score with an 8 in front of it.
There you go.
But at the time, it was sort of like reduced down to a par 64 or something. So I'll just ignore that bit. I can say I shot an 88, and I'm gonna take that to my grave. I got 2 more questions. What's the very best round you've ever played score-wise?
Score-wise, I think I've had 8 under a couple of times. I think I did it at McCracken. Felt a few course records, but they've since all disappeared now.
Course records is crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I've got I held it at Royal Adelaide for a couple of years.
Really?
I think I had 7 under around there.
Goodness me. Well, Hawley, the host of the Outback QB podcast, for those listening, he's a member at QE.
Yep.
And, which he probably mentions a bit on the pod. I reckon he's maybe a 3 or a 4 handicap at the moment. Would you comfortably beat him?
Oh, how often does he play?
I reckon he's playing weekly.
Oh, it'd be a good battle.
Yeah?
It'd be a good battle.
We might set that up.
I'd hit bad shots, don't worry.
Would you want to play him?
Oh, it'd be good fun.
We might set that up.
Yeah.
I reckon that would be good fun. Leave that with me.
Yeah.
Leave that with me. Last question. Best player or most known player you've played against or with?
Oh, it's got to be Scotty. Unfortunately, it wasn't in a golf tournament.
Scotty is in Adam Scott.
Adam Scott, yeah. So play with Adam Scott and Mark Leishman in a pre-tournament sort of practice. It was just so funny how that happened because me being me, just like unassuming, don't want to be like, get in the way of anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So like me and my mate Ben, we were just sort of on the first tee at the Australian Golf Club. This was for the Aussie Open, and he isn't even in the tournament yet. He's like second or third reserve, so he's just coming out for practice round. He's hoping to get a start, and so we just get ready to start. And next thing you know, you're just sort of seeing people sort of walking. Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is
bit of buzz.
What's going on? And and then Scotty comes to me and goes, "Oh, you mind if we join in?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah. You just do your thing. You go play." And he's like, "No. Let's play." I said, "No, like I don't want to be in your way. Like I understand this is you're prepping for the same tournament I'm prepping in. Like you do your thing." He goes, "Mate, we are playing. Me, you, Leash, and your mate."
Wow.
Okay, cool. Like it was like 9 holes. Around the Australian, and and like. What an awesome guy. Like he's what you see, like say media wise, is the same guy you meet in between the ropes as well. So happy to chat, happy to share stories and obviously he's done it all. He's this year he's about to play his 100th major in a row.
It's incredible.
Like what a career.
Durability. That's not unheard of, but it's enormous.
Yeah. And so that was like probably one of the coolest times I've been on tour. Like you get to rub shoulders. Like I'd share a locker room with again when you play like Aussie Open and Aussie PGA, there's obviously going to be some stars that might get drawn in. They might get paid a few mil to come play the Aussie Open, even though the Aussie Open's only worth 2 mil like total purse, but they're getting paid that up front. Because that's what another thing you don't hear about is that. So if you're an international coming over to play in Australia, your tax bracket's like 50%. So
so they lose a lot more than they would normally.
So you say you win the Aussie Open, you pick up 200,000, you lose half of that before you even leave the country.
Yeah, right. Well, that doesn't help golf tourism either.
Oh no.
Yeah. Why would big names come without the promo fee?
That's right.
So when they pay them the promo fee, are they paying that in their native currency and therefore they're not taxed on it, or how does that work?
I've never dived into that nitty-gritty, but
interesting.
Which is, if you go back to the LIV formula, because they've been paid up front at the start, and like they're obviously paying, they're paying like for money as well in the team sort of stuff. They're getting, and that's all sort of done in their own back of house stuff,
tax-free Saudi pay.
Exactly. So, and which is why it works because they're not having to worry about money, and with the way they set it up was they've got all these good players. So you had Smith, Rahm, why are the names leave me? Anyway, you get all the stars, Bryson and all them, all coming across. Barring the President's Cup, when it comes to Australia, you do not see a field that even comes close to that level.
Yeah.
Like major winners, like ex-number one in the world kind of thing. Like, so that's one of the reasons why I think it works so well in Australia, because we've been starved of, like, you had to travel overseas to see these people, whereas you go to LIV, you fly to Adelaide, and you can basically rub shoulders with these guys. They're having a ball, like they're having fun. They're not there busting their balls to win a tournament. Like they're kind of like
secure.
They're in their happy place, so they can be a bit more friendly. You know, so I think that's why it's been such a good thing for Adelaide to take it on.
It was unbelievable. The first time we went there, Dustin Johnson had just been paid, I think, $100 million, and he just walks past 2 meters in front of us and he plays a shot. I thought, this is incredible access. I couldn't believe it. I was blown away by it. But Brad Moules, it's been a great chat. I've learned a lot. You've answered all the questions I wanted to know, but I know as soon as this is done, I'll have about 100 more. So maybe we'll go around 2. But appreciate it, mate. I know people would have got a lot from it. So thanks for your time.
Well, thank you.